Hello everybody, my name is Holzl, and I was following these meetup sessions, and I was thinking, we talk about open source, and not a lot of people know exactly what is open source. So I wanted to just make a little speech about what is it exactly, and you'll see unfortunately we'll not really talk about computers. Today we'll talk about code, but not about computers. So I'll start this speech by a few questions. I discovered around the world a few facts. Like Tesla Motors is distributing their patents for free to their competitors. It means that a competitor of Tesla Motor could take the patents and start to make the same type of motors. Why do they do this? We have also Toyota. They have the hydrogen. That's another type of technology. Now we have these two technologies fighting. They also distribute their patents to everybody, so everybody can use it. Why should a company give away their patents to the competitor? Why? So we go further. We have something half of you have in their pockets, maybe even in a WordPress meeting, more than half, you have an Android in your pocket. Why does Google distribute Android for free? Why does Samsung not pay for Android? Just get it. Or LG or whoever, Huawei. Just get Android for free. What is the interest for Google to do that? We have more things. We have in the pharma industry. We have these two big giant, GSK, GlaxoSmithKline and Novartis, have put to public more than 300,000 leads for malaria drugs. It means chemicals that could do something for malaria. Just spread it in the public. While you know that the old pharmacy industry is based on patents. Why do they do this? What is this new thing coming up? And we have also even that idea also with WordPress, with the computers. Why is WordPress free? Why can't you just install it? You install it, you use it, you work with it, you sell it. You don't sell it, you sell your work you're doing on it. But what is the interest of Automatic? As much as I understand you develop it, what is your interest to give it away for free? And you do, and I think your company is doing well. So the solution is that they all get home crazy. Maybe yes, maybe no. So, to understand a little bit how it works, I would like to introduce a little bit of mathematics. It won't be much complicated mathematics. So we have three little boys. To each boy we give 100 bricks of this very famous game, Lego, and we give them 1 hour to make something, make a house. Okay, they will build their house and more or less will have more or less similar houses. The total cost of these three houses is 300 bricks in material, capital, 3 hours of work. Now, this is what we call competitive paradigm. These little boys are fighting. I have a better house, this is my house, and so on. This is the competitive paradigm. Now a nice mother comes and says, hey guys, why wouldn't you build a house all three together? So they dismount the first three houses and they take their time to build one great house all together. This is called the collaborative paradigm. The cost of this house is against 300 bricks and 3 hours of work. But then one boy says, I want the garage, I want the garden, I want this room. No, 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 and we start to fight. So which one is better? Do we have three little houses or one big house? So this was until computer came, were more or less the only two choices. Either you work together or you work against each other. Now, with computers and software, there is a new thing coming. Before we had bricks. I cannot share a brick. A house is a house, a brick is a brick, a car is a car. I have it or I don't have it. With the software, it's different. Because with the software, I have a capability is to copy. And therefore, I have a new paradigm, is that I can take that house, I can build it, all three together will build this little house out of Lego. And once it's finished, we copy it. So the cost of these three big houses today is 300 bricks and 3 hours of work. So today with this paradigm, instead of having three little houses, I have three big houses for the same price. So we may have to change our way of thinking. Maybe our advantage today is not to build all little houses for us and protect ourselves and fight, but maybe to collaborate and work together in order to make something bigger. And once we have exactly what we want, we copy it and we change it on our sites. Everyone wants, okay, I want more trees here, I want a garage, okay, I'll make another one. And we can put it back in the community and share it again. So this is a new paradigm. So, the community's interest, as a community, our interest is to build around freely shared knowledge. This is our interest. Conclusion, what if I share all my knowledge for free? Hey guys, you can use my software, it's free. You can distribute it for free. You can study it, change it for free, and you can make modifications for free. If I say that, the response I will have is probably no. Because they will steal my ideas. And I will be left without anything. I want my rights. So we have a contradiction. It is obviously mathematically a benefit for the community to work together, but we're all afraid to do it because we think someone will steal it. They will do something. So we have to find something. So now we're going to talk about something maybe, I don't know if you studied a little bit of law. Did anybody study something about having law course? Yes?
Ethics.
Ethics could be law.
Yeah,
Law, you a little bit, or?
The Lebanese law, the official Lebanese law.
Probably, yeah. It's based on what, that Lebanese law?
It's based on قانون العمل يعني
Labor.
labor law.
Labor law. Okay.
Yeah, and commerce also.
Okay, but most of you are coders, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever used something like, if certain condition, then do something, else do something else? You've heard of that. Who invented that?
The law.
Lawyers.
Rules.
Right.
Rules. Yeah.
If the person stole with premeditation, go to chapter 4.1. If not, 4.2. If he's not guilty, go to chapter 5.
Are you talking about smart contracts?
About what?
Smart contracts. It's
Smart
like
contract.
Yeah.
No, law.
It's
Just
a law.
go in the law
Yeah.
book. It's all that. It's all that.
Okay.
You have chapters 1.5.2 refer to this and that. It's basically, it's code, and it is called law. Law is called code. And I made a little research a few days ago, and it's very funny. I found something that has nothing to do with the subject. Yes?
But these codes can be used in Excel.
if function and if conditions can be used
Yes,
in Excel.
absolutely, or any code. I mean, it could be coded in I don't know, in PHP or in C or whatever. Yeah. So I made a little research about, okay, the people who invented this code, because we're doing code now, all of us, we automate the code, but who invented that? So I went a bit further. So Lebanese law is based on French law, most of the law. Okay, beside the matrimonial and things like that, it's religious, the rest is based on French law. French law is based on what? That's the funny part.
No, the European, Europe.
Napoleonic.
Napoleon,
Yeah.
Code Napoleon, which is based on
Poetry. Poetry.
No, it's not.
Roman law.
Roman. Okay.
Roman law. Okay, the Romans were the first to start to create code. And then comes the funny part, the very funny one. Where was the biggest, most renowned Roman law school?
No.
Beirut.
Yeah.
You know where? That's the funny part. Cathedral St. George, next to it, 500 meters from here. These guys, 1700 years ago, were doing code. Funny. Okay, close the brackets. We'll go back to law. So,
Reality.
law will be, in fact, the tool, sort of code, and I'll come back to the fact we have a code in law. Our question now, we need to create a rule. We want to have a community working on the same subject because it's mathematically a benefit for everybody. But I need to protect that in the integrity of every single creator. Everybody doing something has to be protected. So I have to invent a law system that will fulfill these two statements. So, first of all, I will use a law I can find in more than 200 countries. It's a very accepted law. It's called copyright. What does copyright? Copyright allows you, copyright automatically restricts all usages of my work to anyone in more than 200 countries until 50 years after my death. It means if I do a work, can be a picture, can be a painting, can be a music, can be a text, can be anything non-tangible. If I can prove I did it before someone else, I'm going to be protected as being mine for all my life, plus 50 years. Now they want to extend it to more, since Charlie Chaplin is dead almost 50 years ago. The Chaplin family wants to extend that.
And you can do that by just putting that small statement
No,
down?
not even. That was before in the US, but it's over. You don't even have to put the copyright. This is automatic. You have to prove that it's you. So that's maybe a trick. This can be tricky because someone else says, prove it. Okay. So you have to find someone who says, yes, he did it before. That law is an exclusive right. It means that I can subject to any conditions. What does that mean? If I now created a software and I want to get benefits of it, what can I do? I can sell it. I can rent it. I can ask other people to sell it and get royalties out of it. I can give it. But basically I could ask, if you want to use my software, you have to wear a green funnel on your head and jump 3 times on one foot saying glue, glue, glue. If you don't do that and use my software, I can go to court and sue you. Because this is an exclusive right and I can decide anything that determines the use of my software or my book or anything. So I'm free, and this is a huge space I can fill with things. And this is what I'm going to use in order to reach my objectives. So, this is number one. I copyright my work. Number one. Number two, in these usages, I will say, you can use it as much as you want. You can use it, you can distribute it, you can study it, you can modify it as much as you want. But I will put a restriction. And I want a restriction that is propagating, because I don't want to put the restriction only to you. I want that thing to propagate. And having a code, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a virus. Like a coder, I put a virus in my code. And how do I do to put a virus in a legal code? I'll put a few statements. Very simple. Obligation to inherit the license. It means that anybody programming with PHP will have to submit his work to the license GPL2. That's one of the open source licenses. It means if you use PHP, you cannot sell your software. You have to distribute it for free, for modification, for etc. You cannot sell it. You should use something else than PHP. So you're contaminating everybody touching PHP to distribute his software as open source. So this is a way you create the virus. Other thing, I want to keep my own rights. So you're obliged to put all references. My name, as a part of this development of PHP or WordPress or so on, has to figure in the list. This is mandatory. If you don't do that, I can sue you because you're not respecting the user agreement on my copyright. Obligation to share. You cannot keep it. You have to share it. If you work on it, you have to share it. An irrevocable acceptance of all terms and conditions. You cannot change the license. You have to accept it as is. So with this one, I'm just creating the fact that anybody using my work that is submitted to copyrights to open source will also become open source. I'm creating a legal virus. So, who invented that? This guy is called Richard Stallman. Have you seen this face already? He looks a bit like, he's could be sitting with us.
Yes, I know.
You know him?
Yeah, he created the first open source thing.
Yes, he is the first one who created open source. Yeah, he's very well known. I mean, you have to see his face. You have to see on YouTube. You have to go and listen to him. He's funny. He's really a character. He's the guy who invented that. He's a real creator. He's a developer. He created open source. A second guy, this one, Ivan Moblin, he's the lawyer. He's a New York lawyer. He created the licenses. So the other one had the idea. This one created the licenses. Started to put that on paper as a lawyer. Also very interesting to see some YouTube videos. And we have another very famous one, Linus Torvald. He's the guy who developed a sort of Unix, that he gave his first name to that Unix, calling it Linux. So Linux is one development of Unix. You have a lot of different development of Unix. But this is one that, of course, being open source, spread to become a lot of different things like Red Hat, like SUSE, like Ubuntu, like many others. So these are just the guys behind open source. licenses. You've seen certainly already GPL2 because you're on WordPress, so it's copyrighted by GPL2. So you have the GPL 1, 2, 3. You have now the LGPL, the AGPL. These are in fact evolution of the same user agreements because they noticed over time you have certain company being able to twist these licenses in order to make it more or less still proprietary. Like for example, we have which is the company Apache? Oh, no, Apache. No, who bought Sun Microsystem? Oracle. They took MySQL and managed to twist the license in order to make it not purely open source. So the code being available to everybody, like the little houses. I mean, we have everybody has one house of these things, one part of the code. So they just what they call fork. It means you make another one. They called it MariaDB, and that's it. So now you continue on MariaDB because MySQL is no more 100% open source. So you want to be purist, you keep with MariaDB. We have also the AGPL. This is an advanced, I don't know exactly what is the A, I didn't go into details. An interesting one, little story about BSD. This is Berkeley, I don't know what license. Berkeley in the 80s developed a Unix. The students at Berkeley University developed a Unix and they protected it with BSD. It's also an open source license. But that open source license doesn't force you to accept that license, to apply that license to all the future work. Therefore, there's a little company called Apple who took it and made out of it OS X. So OS X is a sort of kidnapping of an open source, making it closed. But it's a Unix. It's basically an open source. It was an open source. It became non-open source. So some lawyers are able to twist these licenses in order to get it closed again. We don't have only software licenses. We have hardware. Very interestingly, there is hardware developed on open source. We have hardware open source routers. We have, I went to Geneva in the CERN. They have a system of communication on fiber optics that is open source. So basically, instead of making patents, they just say, okay, copy it, use it, but you have to give it back if you find something better. We're just waiting. If you find, we did this, if you find something better, you can use it, you can sell it, but you cannot sell the idea itself. You have to give it back to us also. So you're working for us for free, basically. This is the idea. We also have document licenses, like Creative Commons, where you're going to find videos, music, pictures for free. Also protected through an open source license. Any questions up to now?
Simple question. I'm not sure yet how are they making money out of open source. I understand that you take it, you develop it. If you make something better, you have to share it.
Yes.
Okay, this is the basic idea of open source.
Yes.
But where are we making money at? If you take something, maybe you can answer the question.
Your company sent you here?
No.
No, it's by yourself.
You're on vacation.
Okay. But your company is making money.
Yeah, we sell additional services on top of it.
Okay, so you have the open source, you use it to sell certain
Or
services.
you can do consulting, like on top of your open source software.
Okay, so consultancy and services based on open source.
There's a lot of different ways.
And sometimes the license is it's like let's say open source or free for personal use, but when you want to use it for business or something, then you have to pay back to the company that's developing.
By the way, that's something to be careful about with MySQL. Like MySQL has a license like that, and you should be very careful.
As soon as you start to make money, you should have a pay license.
And that's a very expensive license.
Okay. We have another example making money as a multi-billion company called Red Hat. Red Hat's turnover 2 years ago was $2 billion. Distributing free software. How?
Only for support.
What?
Only for support service.
Sure, of course. Okay, you're a big man.
Enterprise also pay, I think, right?
Huh?
But they have an enterprise in Spain.
Yeah, but you don't pay the software because it's a Linux account. It has been contaminated by such a license.
But they have a version that's paid, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll tell you how it works. So these guys have a Linux called Red Hat. That Linux, let's say you have a bank, you're a big bank, you want to renew all your data centers. You go to Microsoft and they're going to tell you, okay, make $10 million, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you go to Red Hat and they say, yes, we can do that. But, well, if you implement our Red Hat as is, we have more tuning, and that's true. There's more work on it than Microsoft. It's not as bullish. And we'll do that for $2 million or $3 million. But, in exchange, we will adapt it. Because these $2 million, $3, $5 million you're going to pay is not only a finished product, it's a product we're going to develop for you. Now, you can go to a competitor because the software itself is for free. You can go to a competitor, but you have the choice. Either you go to the people who make it, why you go to other people who don't make it but implement it. So you better come to us because we're the makers. We know exactly how it works. And it's a good product. And it's very stable, especially on servers. So this is the way they're going to sell it. Then they have something quite funny, Red Hat. Software is free. You only pay the logo. If you have the Red Hat logo is not protected by copyright, but it's protected by trademark. Therefore, you cannot use that logo without also have an exclusive right on the trademark saying, I'm selling you that logo for I don't know what. So if you're going to see Red Hat, it means they paid for the service of running software. It's free, but the service has been paid. The same software will be distributed for free as CentOS. Have you heard of CentOS?
Yes.
Okay, CentOS is Red Hat. One-to-one. The only thing that changes, the logo. By the way, then Red Hat has also a sort of state-of-the-art software that is called Fedora. I don't know if you've seen. Fedora is the advanced version of CentOS. It's also open source. So this is the way Red Hat is making money, and apparently it works. So you're selling your work. In fact, the idea is that you're propagating your name. You as developers, you propagate your name because you're going to put yourself in a list of developers, and you will not need any CV anymore. Because you just take the software and you say, hey, this is my name.
I know.
One more. I'm here, number 15 position. One more CV, I can give you CV. This is the proof. I know something about my work.
Fedora.
Yes.
I'm familiar with it. Is it used by the forensics people? The guys that work on data forensics?
هذا كيلي لينكس.
No.
كيلي لينكس.
Kali Linux is for is also a Linux is for hacking and things like that. Kali Linux has been developed especially to be hacked. It's very sensitive. I mean, all the loopholes are open, so you can test your hacking on Kali Linux. Yes. Fedora is a running Linux. Fedora will have LibreOffice number 5 instead of CentOS will only stay on number 4 because they say we wait 2 years until we get to the number 5 until LibreOffice will come out with number 6, with version 6. We put
I
version
have
5.
used Fedora. I don't remember why I used it.
You use it, Fedora. Okay, it's one of the Linux, one of them. So I mean, this is the idea of how you're going to make a profit out of open source. Basically, you put your name, you work as a community, you put your name, and through that, being positioned in this, it's like a CV, you progress. The more you work, the more you're going to put your name, the more people will refer to you as being the person who will solve the problem. If now I want really something, a professional, to do something on WordPress, I could go to Automatic. Because Automatic, they developed it. Who knows it better? It's very simple, and they will sell that. So you have the WordPress.com, where you do hosting also. This is one of your profit, is hosting, what I understand,
Yeah.
plus development of different things, because you're the guy who do WordPress. So now, why should you use open source?
It's free.
Free software. It's free as freedom, not free as money.
Money.
It's advanced.
What?
It's advanced. Many people are working on it. and they
Many
love it.
people are working on it, and you work as a community. This is the most important.
You leverage, you leverage their time.
Yes.
They use the time.
Yes.
The sum of the time.
Start to share. Why are we talking together? We're sharing with you. You can just go home and use it. 90% of people will just steal it. But the 10% left who will be interested, they will be the professional. And they will be ready to pay. And these 10% or even 1% left, let's say, who are ready to pay, you'll get them because you make your advertising but by just spreading it around. If WordPress wouldn't be spread around for free, I think no one would just use it. We'll all use Microsoft stuff. You won't be here. We won't be here, of course. Maybe for something else, but we would use something else. Why could that small company become the 30% of the web servers? That's it? Yeah, about. How can you, as a small company, get that?
Well, it's the software though, not the company.
Huh?
It's the software that's 30%, not the company.
You don't develop it?
We develop it, but we don't run 30% of the internet.
No. Your software is used as 30% of the websites worldwide. Okay? I mean, your reputation, if you got 0.1% of these people coming back to you and paying, you make a fortune. While you have 99.9% of people just steal it. Other way of thinking. So, protected or not? Yeah, it's a funny one. I found a few, but this is mine. So this is also, but these are found here. And this is not a PM, it's a smiley. Okay. Protected or not? Look at everybody. You use Windows, huh? Okay, you pay. Yeah, Windows. You paid for it. They forced you. Who uses Office here? Microsoft Office.
Who's paying for it?
Okay, you got it from the company.
You can't ask this question in Lebanon. Everybody knows by the $5.
Yes.
Nobody pay money for it.
It's $5? It's expensive. I had 2,000 for it. My copies now with LibreOffice are totally free. I'm totally fine with all my licenses. All of them. Everything. When I do update on my computer, everything's updated at once. I don't have, you want to update it, yeah, you have paid this. Update. Done. Okay. It's a bit slow with the internet here. I agree. Okay. So protected or not, you will be copied anyway. Second, open source is not a better protection. No. It won't protect you. It's just the best solution. Because you're going to be faster. Your expertise is your asset, is what you have. You want to propagate. If you stay alone with your expertise, you won't go ahead. You can be the best in the world, you will not go ahead. And some things you have to find with others, or you have to collaborate. Sharing will boost your career. Speed is your key. You can go faster. I can build this big house. I'll be 3 people. I build 3 big houses. Well, if I'm alone, I'll build a small one. Sharing will allow you to reach the market with the right idea within the right time, because you share. And you have your share. If you get into this mentality, you have to go ahead. And I just want to show you how I protected this document by open source. I put it once on the web, I should put it again. I can distribute it. Okay. My rights reserved to my name. It's a copyright. I protect myself. This document is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 4.0 International. You can check that on the web. There's a specific license about that.
So
you can.
The presentation.
Yeah, the presentation itself.
It's
Because I want to do everything right. Okay?
So if
Not use it.
Those are the people who will help me. You can check the people who help me and see who they are. They get also versions. When I do a new version, I redistribute it to them so they can use it also. But they will have to put my name. If these guys use it in a big show and they say, wow, this is a good thing, I get the credits for it. It's my big interest to sell it, to share it as much as possible. Because otherwise, no one will buy it. But people may use it. And if they use it, they have to put my name. So that's why I'm going into this. Any further questions?
There's a couple of notes on the open source topic. So one of the advantages also in open source, particularly for example Linux.
Yes.
When you have an open source solution, or open source like WordPress or whatever, the code is open to everyone. So with Windows, like let's say you have your closed source, and no matter how many developers you put on that solution, there's a limit how much you can develop further. In open source, it's open to the community. Anyone can submit his work, his contributions, he can make it grow. So there's tens of thousands of people who can work on the platform, which is why open source can grow better. And the other aspect is about trust. So code that is closed, you don't know what's happening in there. Meanwhile, in open source, if you suspect that something fishy is happening, you just go and check the code. And you will be able to know if there's some loophole in there or there's some
backdoor.
Yeah, backdoor. So that's also another big advantage of open source. So yeah, I just wanted to.
There's a well-known example concerning closed source and open source. If you compare WhatsApp to Telegram, Telegram is an open source app that is more trusted by, let's say, politicians or journalists or anyone who's dealing with very sensitive information, and he doesn't want anyone to eavesdrop on the communication. But on the other hand, WhatsApp keeps telling us that my connection is secured, it's end-to-end encrypted, we promise you that no one's listening, but there's still like this 1% you cannot trust because it's closed. True. Just open the hood, let me look inside so I can trust you. That's
one of the reasons why Telegram has been banned in Russia and now in China, because it's not giving the keys of its software to governments, and they requested it. So yeah, it's purely open source. No, the keys,
the encryption
keys.
Encryption keys. You
Yeah,
can check the software, but not the encryption.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for.
So this is the. I wanted to make a more general presentation. This is a real technical thing. I mean, you're all technicians, but this is rather. I want you to go out of the technology, but of course, it's very much linked to technology. Yeah. Any other question, remark, something?
There's a new Starbucks next to Riyadh Sports Club. Going up 100 meters to the right, there's a new logo, Starbucks logo.
Yes.
When you approach it and you are 5 meters away, you will look and it says something else.
Okay. So it's
coffee or something like that.
is a yellow W doing like that. It's the McDonald's, but just inverse like that. They couldn't stop it. Very funny. Yeah. Anyway, this
Okay,
is, you want.
Also, there is a Lebanese wood store in Juni Jbeil Highway. It's called WordPress.
WordPress?
We can next time now automatic.
Okay, I have a question related to a debate between why some companies like to choose non-open source, closed source than the open source. Some of the debates is related to because the closed source, if I go for example to Oracle or to a product well known like Telerik, if I use these components of Telerik, for example, I can, if something went wrong, if I need a feature or plugin, I can talk with them, and they should commit with me with a solution if anything is wrong on the system. Contrary, on the open source, there's no guarantee that a solution on a particular time can be done for production or for.
The price I paid to Oracle, I can hire someone doing that, basically.
Basically. Okay.
Because what I paid before, it becomes free at Oracle.
Okay.
Is, I mean, if I have that in my pocket, I can hire someone, I can check on the list, on the top, and I can hire this person to do the job.
Okay.
No, but
in the open source.
To his point is right, because I worked in a company that does reward solution to banks.
Yes.
When you're presenting the solution to a bank, they tell you we don't want MySQL, we want Oracle. They tell you we don't want open source Linux, we want CentOS. They want the closed source.
Closed source.
They don't want open source.
Yes. Yeah, because they like to have backdoors. Yes.
No, they like the idea.
Like Stone Age.
They like the idea.
It's about the mindset.
It's a mindset.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're gonna do what they want to get the business.
Okay. If you have someone paying you, do whatever you want. Okay, no problem. But now you develop something. You're gonna do this. Creating a company. There is a say that at the time, no IT manager got fired because he chose IBM. It's not because IBM was working. If it didn't work, you say, it's not my fault, it's IBM. And then 20 years later, no, an IT manager got fired because he chose Microsoft. Same. It was not working. And it had backdoors. And it had problems.
Gut effect. You can blame it on Microsoft.
Yeah. Now the people who are thinking this, most of the customers say, no, 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 I don't want, no, they will steal me. Yes, they will steal you, they already do. And the big companies. Well, with open source, you have more guarantee. With Linux, you have really more guarantee. As a state, I would develop my own Linux, my own one. Chinese do that. They don't develop their own Linux. Okay, guys, take 10,000 developers, get through the whole code. Every little line, everything. I want to see if there is backdoor. Then you recompile it and make your own. Is it better to have Microsoft?
Well, there is it's a partial truth. It's not always true, but there's a common saying that is, open source is free if your time is free.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and now with unemployment, wow.
And also even in the WordPress community, like one of the big disadvantages of open source, right, is that you have thousands and thousands of plugins that, some developers, they write a plugin, they contribute it, they publish it, and then maybe they only maintain it for a few months until they get bored, and then they just leave it, right? And at that point, if you find a bug in it, or you have a problem, or WordPress, goes to version, from version 2 to version 3, there may be no one to continue to support it, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
I would pay that on another software. So I go to a software developer and say, hey, I got that plugin because I had that case. I mean, I changed it myself.
But you can have the same case of a developer discontinuing upgrade with a huge
Yeah, closed
enterprise.
source, and then I can't do anything.
An enterprise might like file bankruptcy suddenly, and then all of its clients are like stuck with the version.
Or they change the version, or you have to upgrade, or
Yeah, you have to pay
to pay for the upgrade.
It's true.
Yeah, so I think it's all about mentality, whether you like support the free and whether you trust the community versus you trust just like enterprise because you pay for it. Most of the people think if I pay for something, it means that I get a better service.
Yeah, the best service,
I
better service.
get, I don't know, maybe it's
No,
more
maybe
secure,
you have the control to by law that it recommend them to give you a solution. You can control them because you're paying your money. So you are the client. So they will get back to you and give you the correct.
Depends on the contract, but it
Can take an open source company and
Not the
that
same.
be cheaper, and I can close the contract anytime, take the source and make it developed by someone else. And I have, frankly, I have more control on my code. Much more control.
More options.
And the thing is that most of the open source community products or projects, they were built out of maybe, let's say, curiosity, or someone wanted to build something for himself, while enterprises, they were built on generating more money. So it's a business. It's something that it was intended to maximize the profit or to get as much money as you can. So
To load the client into a system, the client cannot leave.
yeah,
And,
that's why you can find millions of paid solutions versus like thousands of open source
Yes.
options.
Is Python the same as PHP or no? In terms of licensing?
GPL2, I think, PHP. I know that whatever you develop in PHP should be in open source.
Yeah, because Python comes with any Linux distribution.
Yes,
Even,
also Python is
OS,
also.
so it's open source.
It's a matter of touching.
There was once an incident, I don't know if someone's familiar with it, I can't remember the name of the plugin. So this plugin decided to change the license. And it used to be distributed freely with PHP. So PHP had to drop this plugin because the small minor change conflicted with the whole concept of the, I can't remember, what was it, JSON or something? I don't know if someone has heard about this.
There are a few things, I mean, they're twisting the licenses.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a test. So the person behind the plugin wanted to show the world that by just changing a small word in the license, I can mess up the whole servers, open source servers in the world that are relying on the GPL license or something.
I didn't hear the story about that. Okay.
That's correct. So.
Any other question?
Thank you.
We have to go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Coffee. Thank you.